Okay, so real quick, I want to go over another thing that you might want to have in your shop. And this is a lathe. This lathe here is not a huge lathe. I've got a bigger one than this, but I haven't got it hooked up yet. But I've had this one for a lot of years. And I'm telling you, in your shop, it is really handy to have, especially when you're trying to make pieces that you never thought you could make. Instead of going to the store and buying something, you can literally make it here. You know what I mean? I've actually got one that was on a Navy ship in World War II at home that still functions very well. It's a very honest machine and it still works. It's really cool. It's an old machine. I like the old ones. I love working with those. This one here is just the shop one I keep in here. Most anybody can run this thing, but I'm just gonna show you a couple simple things on how to use it. I'm not going to get into detail on this machine because this machine takes a lot of knowledge to know how to run, and I don't have full capability of the knowledge to run this machine. But I have ran it for probably the last 15 years, and I know a little bit about the machine and how it works for me and how it works in my shop. There's so many things you can do with a lathe. If you can get online, you can check them out and watch videos on them. They're an amazing machine to have. Some of them are huge, big enough to where you can build billet wheels in with the thing. I mean, you can turn like a 2-foot piece of billet. It's really cool, a lot of the stuff they do with them. This is great for my little shop because I can make little brackets, and I'm going to show you, I've been working on my 57 Chevy, and I've been making some little shim pieces that I want to show you how they go together, and we're going to walk over and I'll show you real quick. Okay, so on my 57 Chevy that I've been working on for a while, I am putting the Pro Charger on it, okay? And I'm gonna use these calipers right here because what I've had to do, and if you can look in here really quick, most of these Pro Charger kits already come with all these sleeves right here ready to go. But, you know, not every application is perfect all the time. Okay, this is a real life scenario right here that I've been working on. The air conditioning bracket mounts, all of these little sleeves I've had to make, okay? And the only way to really make them right is in that lathe to get them right. These little calipers right here, you know, you can basically turn it on right there. It says 0. And, you know, you use this end right here to measure the inside diameter of what you need. So you can get that down in there. You measure it, okay? 1.40, okay? So that is what I would need inside of here to fit in there with my piece to know what these are. So let's just take that as a scenario, and we're gonna go make one in my lathe right now so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But through this process, this is a perfect example of where you would need a lathe in your shop, okay? Because not everything comes bolt on. This is a Pro Charger kit that actually fits like a 2000 Camaro, okay? Well, nothing on this thing matches none of that, okay? So I have to make a lot of it. I mean, most of this bolts up. I would say probably 80% of it fit right on. But there is a little bit of work when anytime you're doing anything custom and you're hot rodding, you're gonna need to make pieces. So let's go over and make this piece really quick and I'll show you how this lathe works. Okay, what I got here is I've got this little aluminum piece right here that we're gonna wind up using. Okay, we got the 1.40, okay? And you can see right there that first of all, we gotta get rid of this beveled edge right here. We gotta make it square and we gotta make it that size. Now, a lot of guys that know how to use a lathe right could probably set this up and cut it one time and be done with it, especially if they're a CNC, but this is more of a manual machine, so we have to kind of put it in and take it out until we get it measured right. But the first thing I want to do is take this shoulder off right here and get this square, and I'm going to show you how we do that, okay? This is your chuck right here, and what's really cool about this thing is you can chuck up all kinds of stuff. The other day I put an alternator in here, and I chucked an alternator up in here and turned it on so we could test the alternator to see if the alternator was making juice. So you can do a lot of stuff with them. You just got to be careful because number one, you don't want to get your man bun caught in this thing because it'll rip your ass right around this thing right here. You don't want to be in here wearing like loose clothes. You know, if you got a button-up shirt and it's undone, this will, you know, it'll suck you in there. So you got to be really careful with this machine. You know, this thing here, you know, a lot of guys leave that in there like that and it flings out, breaks your teeth out. There's a lot of different things that really could get you in trouble here. This worm drive right here, when it's going, that worm drive could catch something and pull you in there too. So you want to be aware of what you're doing on this thing and give yourself space and watch it, because if you're not watching and your shirt gets sucked in there, it might suck you down in there, you know, and this thing's not going to stop. It's going to take your head off for sure. This is a little one. This isn't a very big machine, but it does have enough torque to break some fingers and break your arms and stuff. So it's a machine that you've got to kind of know what you're doing and pay attention when you're messing with it, okay? Anyway, let's clean this piece up really quick. I'm gonna have to do a few adjustments really quick, I can see, because I was using this with the drill, and I'll show you how to open this up a little bit here in a minute. But first we're gonna cut this and I'll show you. So this really has an automatic feed right here. So you could lock this down and it'll automatically feed. I like to manually run it because I never know for sure where I'm at. So I like to have more control with the machine. This here we can adjust right here so you can get into your piece. So what I had something else going in this machine earlier, but this is basically your cutting tip right here. They do wear out, and if you're really trying to cut something super hard, it could cause a problem. But you want to angle that thing so you can come in there and cut that nice and straight. So realistically, I need to be back just a little bit like this. You want that edge to be as straight as you can, so when you cut that, it's nice and straight, okay? Actually, it needs to come back just a little bit. Okay, maybe right there. All right. Okay, and then we want to wheel this thing in as far as we can. We want to get up close to our workpiece there that we're getting ready to mess with. And then this one here kind of feeds you in, okay? This is a piece of aluminum. It's going to cut pretty fast. It's going to be really easy. But, you know, you can do it with steel, whatever, you know what I mean? You get up into some really hard metals, you're going to start taking the tips off of your cutting piece here, and you don't want to do that because they're kind of a pain to change, and they're just, you know, it's just not worth it. So be careful of the material that you're using in this thing, okay? Now this thing will go either direction, so I'm gonna go the wrong way right now. But see, it'll go clockwise, and then you want to let the machine come down, and then you can go counterclockwise. You want the piece to be cutting into the tip. You want it to be cutting into it, not away from it, okay? Not in this situation, okay? Okay, and then you want to just kind of ease into it a little bit. This is your fine-tune one right here. It's real fine-tuned. This one goes really fast. This one goes really slow. You know what I mean? If you're gonna come into it, you want to ease into it slow like this. And you want to just square that piece up, okay? Let's see what we got there. Okay, let's take a look at it. Okay, look at that piece. It's like almost perfectly square. It's nice and clean. That's a good spot to start to measure off of, okay? So what I like to do, because I'm not like a machinist, I'm a shop guy. I'm not a professional machinist, okay? Don't take anything that I'm saying, you know, as a serious thing. If you want to be a machinist, go learn from a real machinist, because I'm not one of them. I'm just going to show you my little tricks. Okay, so now that we've got a good flat surface to start with, we still got our measurement here. And I'm gonna lay this here. Usually I'll be over by my table with some good light. I like to get close, and what I'll do is I'll just draw a line right off of here. Okay, and that basically will give me a spot that I know I need to be at, okay? Really close. Okay, so we're gonna cut this thing down so we have the right measurement. I'm gonna do this kind of cowboy style because like I said, I'm not a machinist. This isn't set up in my shop as a full-on production machine. So I'm gonna kind of do this my way. And I'm gonna just show you how I can make this piece the way I do it. Typically you would wanna take this out and put a knife in here and cut this off. But I don't have one set up, so I'm just going to use this piece to cut into it really quick. And not only that, it's going to make it so you guys can actually see how this tool works as I dig into this piece really quick, okay? So let's give it a shot. We see our line right there, okay? When it's spinning, I'll be able to see it. I'm just going to bring this thing in. I'm going to cut into it and try to get rid of this piece. And then I'll I'll push into it so we can get really close to where we need to be, okay? So basically what I want to do is I want to cut off most of the material just to kind of get it out of my way. And then I will go into it really easy. Now this aluminum cuts pretty easy. So you can see that I'm getting pretty close to where I need to be right here. Okay, there's your piece just came off, right? Okay, now what I want to do, you can see kind of where the line is right here. I'm going to kind of try to darken it so you guys can see. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to take it up to the line. That's not a very good straight line, but I'm trying to hurry so I can show you guys this. But what I'm going to do is take it up to the line and we're going to pull it out and measure it, okay? So let's do that. Okay, you just kind of walk into it like this. You can see the black line right there, right? We just want to walk into that thing until we get pretty close. Every once in a while you might have to shut it off so you can, you know, keep it clean so you can see what you're doing. Sometimes with this aluminum, this tip gets a little galled up. You got to clean it off. Get in there. And you see that line just kind of starting to go away right now. All right, let's safety up right there. Shut it off. Pull this thing out. Probably hotter than hell right now. Okay, we're at 1.40. Okay, so let's see where we're at with this one. Look at that. We're really close. We got 300 thousandths to take off there real quick. Okay, but we're really close. I mean, that's getting really close. I'm gonna say we're really close right there, okay? And when you use a lathe a bunch, you'll start to know about where your machine's at and what's going on with it. So let's see if we're close now. Look at that. That's exactly the piece right there that we need to make that work in there as a spacer, okay? Now that's just one thing that this machine can do. This machine can do so much more. But if you have a lathe in your shop, you can make that piece really quick. And you know, not everything comes perfect. So when you order something, it's a bolt-on kit for your Camaro. Yeah, it'll fit on a late model Camaro because it was built for the late model Camaro. But when you got a 57 Chevy with a bunch of different things on it, and you're bolting a Pro Charger kit on it that goes onto a Camaro, it's probably not going to fit perfectly. The AC brackets are different. A lot of things are different, okay? You have to make a lot of shims to space it out so your belts fit. You know, you want all your belts to fit, and sometimes you need to bring it out, and you got to make, 3 of these for that bracket to pull it out just right. You know what I'm saying? So that's just one thing that you can do with this. So this machine does have an automatic feed on it, so you can shift this down into gear. You can see it moving really slow. See that? See how slow it's moving? When you release it, you can see it. It goes both ways. This table will go both ways. So if you want to automatically feed, like if you're cutting threads on something, you set this up for cutting threads. So if you want to cut threads like this, you can cut threads with this piece, okay, and make your own bolt. That's what's so cool about this machine. Right now, I'm going to show you guys how to finish up this piece I'm making. So let's say right here, you made this piece, but the bolt that you're putting in here is a 1/2 inch bolt. Okay, and it doesn't fit. You got this hole right here, but it's not big enough, right? So you just chuck it back up in here, like this. The thing about these machines is they're usually pretty real honest and true. If this thing's moving around, get rid of it, because it's about ready to take a crap on you and you're gonna ruin all your stuff, and none of your measurements will be right. Anyway, so you want to chuck this up right here, okay? Okay, typically, like on a drill, this spins, but this is going to be spinning, not this side, okay? And you know, you want to get it up there close to your piece right there, okay? And we're going to put a 1/2 inch bolt in here, but this thing is not quite where it needs to be, okay? As far as this is a smaller hole than your 1/2 inch, okay? Lock this down right there, okay? You lock that down, then you pin on. And you want it to go counterclockwise, because that's the way your drill bit's gonna bite into there, okay? And then you just kind of slowly start to run this through there. You can see it cutting inside of there. What it's doing is it's opening up so we can get the right bolt in there. I'm opening that hole up just a little bit. I'm gonna run all the way through it. You can see down in there where the drill bit came through. If you can see down in there, you can see it in there, and I'll back it out so you can see it. So we just opened that up so your bolt will fit in there now. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of tricks to this machine that you can use it for so many things, and I mean, I love this machine. I use it all the time. I'm constantly making brackets. Most guys that are you know, fabricators or even mechanics, they'll have a little lathe in their shop because they are very handy to have. You can make all kinds of stuff with these. But this is just a little tiny sample of what you can do with a lathe. There's so many more things that you can do with one, but that's pretty cool actually, how you can just take that piece of aluminum, turn it down, open it up, and make it fit what you had to fit, instead of running over and trying to order one online and waiting 2 days for it to show up, or running around town for 3 hours trying to find it. Or if you're out in the middle of nowhere on a ranch, if you don't have a lathe on a ranch, you're crazy. Every ranch in America or the world should have a lathe on it, because you can make parts for your tractor, you can do anything. So anyway, hope you liked the video, hope you like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.